oftentimes something comes along that you're not expecting.
I'll be home in the morning.
And today was no exception. So, hey guys, it's me, and I'm trying out this, let's see, strawberry daiquiri Margaritaville from Walmart, and fuck, it's only $1, so if it sucks, well, I can't bitch, right? Because you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
Well, I'm going to do my, another yet again lazy review. And as I've said, I just got out of the theater, wasn't, as you can tell, not writing a script or anything, just kind of talking on the fly, and just, let's try this.
I was unprepared.
Not bad, and hey, it tastes strawberry. Who would have thought, right?
Strawberry?
Because for the summer, I have Tuesdays off, and yeah, even I get a day off, except for, paying bills and mowing the lawn and whatever. But the point is, Tuesdays, Regal Cinemas, luckily enough, they have this thing where all tickets are half off. So because I have the Unlimited app, as soon as I see one movie, everything else is just free films. But I'm like, hey buddy, you want to go check out a movie and something with Ethan Hawke, and it's a horror film, it's only $6, who knows, if it sucks, big deal. Surprisingly enough, it didn't suck. In fact, I'm recommending it. In fact, I would say go out and see it, and at least check out a matinee, because I've been saying for the longest time period that films like this that aren't big budget, that aren't high profile, that didn't get like a lot of advertising, they need better word of mouth. And because films like Ready or Not came out and just nobody talked about it, I'm like, you know what, it's a Friday night, I'm bored, I got the extra money and stuff, let me go check out some film that just is kind of like just low key. And I went and saw it, and holy shit, what a great movie. The same thing with this film. Not a lot of marketing, and just it came out of nowhere, and holy shit.
Holy shit.
And I have to say that, kudos to Blumhouse, because Blumhouse as a studio, you guys are killing the horror genre, because it just, I don't know, these low budget films with great storylines and great characters and just so much smartness to their scripts. I can't believe how much of a good time I had. And I have to say that off the bat, the name Scott Derrickson, you may know it or maybe you don't, but he directed the first Doctor Strange. It's a shame, but also a blessing that the fact that he went and directed this instead of directing Doctor Strange 2, because I think this is a way fucking better film than Doctor Strange 2 is. And it just shows, how much Marvel messed up, because we've seen how much, Sam Raimi, these guys wound up, watering him down. And Scott Derrickson just proved if you give him good material and an R rating, he can make a friggin' good film.
Really good, sir. Really good.
And I was surprised, how smart this film is. I'm not going to do a spoiler review because I don't want to spoil the fun of the film and just how, there's so many little details that you pick up on. But if you watch it a second time, it definitely has these payoffs, since...
Is that a payoff?
There's certain scenes with this kid named Finn.
One of our students, Finney Blake.
I'll get into that in a second. But he keeps failing and failing and failing, but he doesn't fail. Because at the end, all of his failures, they end up paying off.
Be patient.
Now it comes down to, okay, Chris, what's the movie about? What's going on? Why should I go see it for? Well, Ethan Hawke, he's... not in it the most because it's a build-up to his character. Ethan Hawke plays, well, a killer, a serial killer.
Serial killer?
And it may be sensitive to some people, but he's kidnapping and killing kids. That's it.
I warned you.
Every time he's on screen, he steals it, and he's haunting, and he's fucking terrifying. And a good 98% of screen time, he's behind this mask, and it makes it more terrifying. Not seeing his face, but his mannerisms and his eyes and his fucking tone of voice. It's cool as hell and creepy.
Creepy.
It is kind of hard to call this the horror element because, he's the bad guy. You're not getting the Freddy Kruegers or the Jason or something, or the big alien. It's just a, bad guy kidnapping kids and killing them. So he kidnaps this kid named Finney, and Finney has this thing where he's inside of this room, and there's something called the Black Phone, based on the title and stuff.
Oh, and you forgot to read the title.
They show different flashbacks and stuff for these characters, and so many scenes of news articles. Just the graininess is so fucking on point, on the money, because it feels like you're watching, some people are too old for this shit, but for those of us who grew up in the fucking 80s, those old VHS tapes and stuff, and how it's grainy and it's nothing's 4K or high def and just has that mark to it. People who've been in that era, when you see it, there's so much attention to detail watching these old flashbacks and just how it's filmed. And I gotta give it to friggin' Scott Derrickson. Dude, just something as simple as that. It's so fucking good job, dude.
Pretty authentic, huh?
Now we get to our villain, the bad guy called the Grabber. Why? Because he grabs kids and...
The papers call him the grabber.
Okay, it's not original, but fucking go with it, right? Now, the first act is basically the buildup of he's been abducting children. It's all over the news. So we have the setup that, well, a bunch of kids have been friggin' killed. So by the time he gets to Finney is inside this room, and when the phone goes off, he picks it up. Now he's hearing the voice of the dead children that the grabber has already killed. It's really creepy, but also so well directed by Scott, because the fact that as he's talking to the kids, he can't see them. All he hears is voices.
I hear voices. Is somebody there?
But as an audience member, then he shows the ghost either standing next to him.
Hello?
Don't hang up.
Who are you?
Or standing from the side. But as, like, you know, it's cool as he's hearing the voices, you see their lips moving and stuff, so like it's not coming out of them directly, but like it's in sync with the way they're doing it. And just wait till you see it. I thought it was a fucking blast, and just really cool symmetry, just seeing how he does that, and like, holy shit,
impressive.
So he's talking to these kids, and these kids are like, you know, they're kind of like his lifeline. They're giving him advice, they're giving him tips and stuff. They're just kind of like boosting up his motivation to get out of there. And of course, you get his sister. His sister, she friggin' steals the show. Well, she steals the show. I'm sorry about that. I love this kid. I mean, sorry, 2022. I'm careful how I say that, but I love this kid. The actress, her name is Madeline McGraw. She plays Gwen. Gwen is excellent. Every time she's on screen, she has like this little sassy, like no gives a fuck attitude, and she mouths off. And when her brother is getting bullied, she has no problem grabbing a rock and bashing a bully in the head, because she just doesn't take shit from anybody. And of course, Finney is Mason Thames is playing him. And for the most part, as I said with my laser reviews, this doesn't need like a big long review, not a big breakdown. The premise is pretty simple. I mean, it's the horror element that it's terrifying that this kid is trying to escape this terrifying room, and it comes into like the supernatural, since he's technically talking to ghosts. The ghosts have a little bit of interaction with the real world, but for the most part, they're just there for moral support, and they're there to coach him along about, you know, how to escape this fucking madman. And just I gotta say, the first act and stuff in the first hour is just tension building and character development, getting a little bit of time with these characters, just like knowing who they are, where they come from, what's going on. And just then the second act is basically him being kidnapped and trying to escape. The third act is just really good tension and horror building, and like I was on the edge of my seat. My son is just sitting there looking up too. You want to see what's going to happen next, and like, will this kid escape? Won't he escape? Will they catch the bad guy? I mean, you'd be surprised on how the ending turns out, which was great.
It was great.
So as I said, guys, this doesn't need a big, long review. It's just something very simple. It's a simple plot. The bad guy, which again is called the Grabber, Ethan Hawke, you don't need a huge backstory. You don't need this endless, like, you know, explanation of like who he is, where he came from. He's just a fucking bad guy that kills kids. It's pretty simple. The plot's pretty simple, but you would be amazed at, with the right writers, with the right director, with the right tone, atmosphere, how much, like, you know, smart stuff you can get along, and just how much good stuff you can do with people that actually give a shit. We need more films like this to come out. Films that just come out of nowhere, get good word of mouth. Please, by all means, go check it out and have a fucking good time.
Have a good time.
You know, I didn't know what to go in, you know, with this film, what to expect. Was I going to like it, hate it? Was it going to be stupid, boring, fun, horror? What's it going to be about? I walk out and I'm like, holy shit, I got to tell people, this is a fun time. It's worth watching.
I'd like to go see it.
How would I rate this? I would just rate this as a, came out of nowhere, sleeper hit, but tell your friends, have a good beer, and have a good time.
Enjoy yourself.
And that's it. Another one of my laser reviews. As always, I'm going to finish this, and I'm heading back to work.